channel. We're back. We're going to be having some content. We're going to have some NFL related content. FIFA 22 is going to be dropping soon. So be looking for some of that stuff. So let's just hop right into it. Lots of stuff to talk about. So I have my AFC and NFC predictions. I did a super long stream on both of these. So if you want to go check them out, twitch.tv/ghosthunter1974. You can get my full kind of take on each team's season. So I don't want to I want to make this somewhat short. My predictions, feel free to reply with yours. As the old saying goes, agree to disagree. We're going to have different takes on it. But this is kind of how I see the season playing out. I think the teams will be there. The records, that's the question. Will they be close to that or not? So as you can see, I have the Bills winning the AFC East, the Dolphins finishing second, New England third, and the Jets last. I think New England's going to struggle with Mac Jones. I think he will do all right. Don't get me wrong. But I have questions about their defense, their secondary specifically. And then the wide receivers. I'm not sold on Aguilar, Jacoby Myers. I think it's going to be a lot of tight end stuff, dumping off to James White, that kind of stuff. So that's why I have New England 7-10, finished in third. Miami, I don't know. I think that the wins might be a little high. I don't think I'm concerned about Tua for one. Two, their running game. Not really sure. Myles Gaskin, it's kind of running back by committee, so we'll see. We'll see how well they run. I'm not sure about their front four either. Their secondary is pretty good. I think it's good enough to finish second. They have some tough games. There's a couple games could go either way there. Obviously, the Bills, 12-5. The running game concerns me a little bit because I've heard that Zach Moss is probably starting over Devin Singletary. So I'm curious to see what the Bills' running game is like this year. Defensively, they're going to be pretty good. So I think the teams will struggle against are going to be teams like the Chiefs, the Titans, the teams that they lost to last year. So we'll see how that goes. And then, like I said, the Jets finished in last. I think it's going to be a rough season. I think Zach Wilson will be all right. He's got receivers to throw to, but I don't know what they're going to do for running game. Tevin Coleman's supposedly the running back one, but he's not a running back one. And that Jets defense, there's a lot of questions on the defensive side of the ball. So I think it's going to take them a little while to get on track. So that's why I have them finishing last. So let's hop over to the AFC North. As you can see, I have it pretty well jammed up there at the top. I'm pretty sure I have I think I have them splitting quite a few of the divisional games with each other. I don't know specifically what weeks those are. I was looking, but I don't know specifically what weeks those are. But the Ravens Steelers will trade wins and losses there. Same with the Browns. So Cleveland opens against Kansas City. I think and I hope that will be an L. I'm a Chiefs fan, so but Cleveland has a decent schedule this year. We'll see how they come out and play. I have them tying Baltimore for the division. A lot of people I've read and seen a lot of stuff. People saying that Baltimore is not going to be quite as good this year, and I'm concerned about their passing game again. Even though J.K. Dobbins is out, Gus Edwards can carry the football. But outside of Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown, their other receivers are hurt right now. So I really don't know what they're going to do with the passing game. I want to see what happens Monday night against the Raiders in Las Vegas. And maybe we get some sort of indication there. So I have Baltimore finishing 11-6. And then I have Pittsburgh 10-7. Again, I think they might struggle a little bit offensively this year. I'm curious to see how Najee Harris carries the ball, how the run game is this year. They didn't focus enough on it last year, and it cost them. And Ben, I don't know if he's going to be able to throw the ball down the field. He's starting to remind me of Drew Brees as he got older. He was not throwing the ball down the field very much, and I think that limits your offense when you can't stretch the field. Because if a team knows that you have to go deep or that you can go deep, then that stretches the field a little bit and that loosens up the run game a little bit. So I would like to see the Steelers try to stretch the field a little bit and see if that opens up the running game for them and Najee Harris. So I have them at 10-7. Cincinnati have 5-12. I think again they're going to struggle defensively. I'm not really sure about the squad. Offensively, how healthy is Joe Burrow coming off a major knee injury? Is that going to affect him at all? And just where are they going to get to? I think 5-12 is a pretty realistic expectation for the Bengals this year. So moving on, AFC South is the Titans are going to run away with this division. I have them going 13-4, could be 12-5. Maybe there's a game or two in there. I think they could go either way. So yeah, Derrick Henry, the offense is going to be good. Their problem is their secondary. So I think they're going to give a lot of points up. I think they're going to give a lot of passing yards up. I'm not sure about rushing, but they're going to be giving up a lot of yards in the air. So Tennessee going 13-4. I have Jacksonville at 6-11. That might be a little overdone. I'm not sure. Trevor Lawrence starting. They do have good wide receivers. They've got a good running back in James Robinson. Not sold on the offensive line. And I don't even know, since Tim Tebow is not there, I don't know who their tight end is. Defensively, I think they're going to struggle a bit as well. So I think 6-11 is a completely realistic expectation. Maybe even 5-12, but that unfortunately, I think that will still be good enough to get them second place, because the Indianapolis Colts, their offense is a mess right now outside of Jonathan Taylor. I don't know what they're going to do. Michael Pittman, Zach Pascal, T.Y. Hilton's out for possibly the year. So offensively, just not sure what they're going to be able to do. Defensively, I think they're going to struggle some too. The front seven pretty good. Back end, little questions on. So 3-14, that might be a little underdone. So maybe 4-13, 5-12 for them as well. And then last but not least, we have the Houston Texans. I have them winning one game, and it's against Jacksonville, I believe. That franchise is an utter disaster right now. Tyrod Taylor's the starting quarterback. Offensively, they don't have a lot of weapons. David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, keep going, Brandon Cooks. And I don't know, maybe could be a little underdone too, but I think both offensively and defensively, they have a lot of questions. So I don't see them winning a lot of games this year with the teams, with their schedule that they have to play. So that's AFC South. AFC West, Chiefs going 13-4. I think they're going to lose 3 divisional games this year. And then I have the Titans beating the Chiefs in the regular season. So Kansas City goes 13-4. You know what you're getting there. Chiefs offense, one of the best in the NFL. Defensively is the question. They have Nick Bolton, a rookie linebacker. If he starts, I think that's going to bolster that linebacking core and give them better options to cover. So we'll see. 13-4 for the Chiefs. Chargers, I have it 13-4 as well. They're finally, for the first season in probably about 3 to 4 years, if not longer, they're actually coming into the season fully healthy. Justin Herbert, this is his second season, so I expect pretty good things out of him. Austin Eckler's healthy. Keenan Allen. Mike Williams, and you got Jared Cook at tight end. They made some upgrades on the offensive line, so I think they'll be good on the offensive side of the ball. I think defensively, I think they're going to be pretty good this year as well. Derwin James is healthy. Joey Bosa's back. Hopefully, he's healthy as well. And they're going to be a force to reckon with in the West too. So I actually have them 13-4 as well. But I think the Chiefs will get the better of them because of the divisional record. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos. I have them 11-6. Teddy Bridgewater coming in. The running game I'm a little sus on. Melvin Gordon's getting up there. Javonte Williams, I think he's a rookie, so I'd look for Javonte Williams to have a little bit bigger role in the offense as the season goes on. Noah Fant tight end, and then Alex, I'll just call him Alex O, the other tight end. He could actually make a name for himself this year as well. And then defensively on the defensive side of the ball, I'm not real sold on Denver's front three. Their linebacking core is pretty good, and their secondary, Patrick Surtain II, Justin Simmons. So they're going to have some good back end play. So I think 11-6 is a realistic expectation for Denver this year. It could be a little less depending on how the offense goes and if Bridgewater stays healthy. So 11-6 for the Broncos. And then last but not least, we have the Las Vegas, because I can't spell Vegas apparently. So Las Vegas Raiders, 8-9. I think they'll win a few games. They have, some, I don't want to say easy games, but they have some winnable games. I think they'll knock the Chiefs off once. They usually do. So typical Raiders season, 8-9, and not going anywhere. So that's kind of how I see the divisions breaking down. The playoff teams, I think, will be the Titans will have the 1 seed, Chiefs the 2 seed, and then the Chargers 3, Bills 4, and the Ravens and the Broncos will be the wild card teams. So to be, if this plays out, it would be Broncos at the Chargers, Ravens at the Bills. I think the Chargers beat the Broncos and the Bills beat the Ravens. And then second round, Chargers at Titans, Bills at Chiefs. I think the Chiefs take the Bills out again, and the Titans take out the Chargers at home. And then Chiefs and Titans in a rematch of the regular season game, and the Chiefs go ahead and take that one, and they win the AFC. I could see the Titans winning it. I can see the Bills winning it. Those are probably the 3 teams I think that have a chance this year. I think the other teams are still just a notch below anything there. So, lovely. The NFC predictions did not save. So interesting. All right. Well, we're gonna have to do this on the fly. My apologies that the spreadsheet somehow is blanked out. I'm not sure where the other one went. But such is life, and that's the story of Ghost Hunter 1974. So I have Washington winning the division at 9-8. I think Fitzmagic will do just enough to get him into the playoffs. The defense will carry him, I think, for the most of the season. They'll lose a couple of divisional games, and they'll be. I have them actually losing the opening game to the Chargers. I just feel like the Chargers are a little bit better. So Washington will be 9-8. I guess we can type this in as we go. So we got Washington 9-8. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys at 7-10. I think they're going to struggle this year. They struggle every year, but I think I'm a little concerned about Dak's health. If he's good to go, then that's all good. But their offensive line is going to be kind of a mess. Zach Martin's already out for the Thursday night game against Tampa Bay, so that hurts. I think Zeke's numbers are over projected for this year. I don't think he struggled to run the ball last year at times. I think he's going to do the same this year. The wide receivers, we know they're good. And Blake Jarwin, I think he's going to have a sneaky good season at tight end. I think he'll catch in between 7 to 10 touchdowns. this year. And then obviously the huge question mark is the Dallas defense. So I think their defense is going to cost them games again this year. So I think 7-10 is pretty realistic, maybe 8-9. So I think they'll finish 1 or 2 games behind the Redskins in the Washington football team in the division. Next up, we have the New York Football Giants, 6-11. A lot of questions this year. I don't expect a lot out of them. So I think 6 wins is realistic. Defensively, they have some question marks. Offensively, they probably have the biggest question mark is a quarterback. Can he actually play? Can he lead that team to some wins? So 6-11 is pretty realistic. And then the Eagles, they're basically, I don't want to say they're a dumpster fire, but they have a lot of question marks too around quarterback, offensive line health, and secondary. So I see them going 3-14 this year. Could be 4-13, 5-12 here as well. I think they're going to split some. I think I have Washington winning a couple of the series this year, but I think the other ones, Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles will split. So yeah, that's how I see the NFC East. Let's go to the NFC North. Green Bay, 11-6. I had them 10-7, but I switched a game, so I think they'll be all right. Their defense, I still have question marks about. But offensively, the question mark is the offensive line yet again this year. So we'll see how that plays out. But I have them winning the division. Minnesota, I have them finishing second. I think Cousins will do enough. Defense is not bad. Offensive line question marks. Can Dalvin Cook stay healthy? And they have no tight end this year. So I think the lack of a tight end is going to hurt Minnesota in some games because in years past they've had Kyle Rudolph where they could rely on him to get open in the end zone. He would get a touchdown. So I think that's going to hurt him a little bit. So I think 9-8, pretty realistic there as well. The Bears, I had the Bears at 7-10, and that could go one of two ways. Boy, I sure can't spell. Trying to do this while you're watching and I'm talking. Fun times. I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields isn't the starter midway through the season. Defensively, they have huge question marks in the secondary. The front 7 are okay, pretty good, actually. A couple of linebackers, a little question mark there. Can they try to run the ball consistently, take the pressure off Andy Dalton or Justin Fields, whoever's quarterback? And you got Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham. You got plenty of offensive weapons. So let's see if Bears do something this year. 7-10, I think that's pretty realistic. And then Detroit, I have 1-16. I think they win one game. That organization is a complete mess right now. So if they win more than one game, I will be surprised. Color me surprised, and we'll see how that goes. So hopping down into the South, I got Tampa Bay Bucs at 14-3. I think the question this year is, can they actually stay healthy? They've been relatively injury-free during that Super Bowl run. So, nothing against Brady. He's getting up there. Is this the year that he starts to decline a little bit? Who knows? But you got the whole team back together again. So I think 14-3. I think there's a couple of games they're going to trip up. I think the Bills might be one of them. I can't remember. There's a couple of Washington might have been one. I don't remember specifically. It's in the it's on the VODs on the Twitch channel, so go check that out. I have New Orleans finished in second at 10-7, and a lot of people are going to make fun of me when I say this, and that's fine. Jameis Winston had LASIK surgery in February. So he had two issues. He's nearsighted and he had astigmatism. So that causes blurry vision. So if he was playing football with blurry vision and just failing to say anything, or if he was having to wear contacts or something, I don't know. I don't know the whole situation. So the fact that he had LASIK and he actually looked pretty good in the preseason, I think he's going to do pretty well for the Saints. I think they struggle a little bit early. I have them 2-3 going into their bye week, simply because the defense just isn't good enough, and Michael Thomas is out up until week 7. And after that, I think they do better in the second half. The second half, I have them going probably 8-3, I think. So I think that'll get them second and get them in the wild card conversation. Carolina, Sam Darnold, CMC, if he's healthy, the offense looks pretty good, I think. Defensively, that's where the questions are for me, is how good is their defense? No Luke Kuechly, none of the guys that led that Carolina defense from years past. So we'll have to see how that goes. So I have them going 9-8. Atlanta Falcons 4-13. Their whole issue is going to be defense. Offensively, I think they'll be okay, but it's literally defense that is going to cost them a lot of games this year, because they're going to give up a lot of points, and they're not going to be able to come from behind too many times. So I think 4-13, 5-12, somewhere in there. There's probably a couple of games I probably could have given them, but I'm trying to look from a realistic point of view, but kind of, who they're playing against, the defenses, all that kind of stuff. But again, all these predictions don't mean anything, because one injury and that changes everything. So that's what I think for the NFC South. And last but not least, we'll hop to the and I'm going to type these in real quick and then we'll talk about them. So the LA Rams, I think I'm a little interested to see how their defense plays. I thought they're missing some guys that I thought they had. So supposedly the defense is going to be good again this year, or better this year. And I really can't spell. So we'll see. I think Matthew Stafford is a huge upgrade at quarterback over Jared Goff. So the Rams do have some tough games. They've got Tampa. I'm trying to remember who else. There's somebody else they have outside the division. It might be, I can't remember if it's Buffalo or not, but I have them losing 3 games. I think a couple of those are in the division. So I think 14-3, 13-4, pretty realistic. The Seahawks I have coming in second, 11-6. Offensively, I'm not too worried about them. Well, their offensive line has to be better this year, obviously. Defensively is where my concern is, especially the secondary. Quandre Diggs is supposedly not going to play until he gets a new deal, and I haven't seen that he has gotten a new deal. So I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? Hang on. I know. I'm a dork, I think. I think I know where this is now. Yeah, it's somewhere on here. Anyway, oh, here we go. I forgot. I literally went through and did this, and literally I saved it, and yeah, here we go. So I'm a donut. Anyway, laugh, make fun of me. It's all good. I don't care. Anyway, Seattle, I think 11-6. San Francisco, they're probably the most intriguing team in that division this year. Defensively, I think they'll be okay. Front 7, great. The backside outside of Jason Verrett. I'm not sure about the secondary again. Offensively, can Jimmy G lead that offense. Raheem Mostert, running back. They've got some decent wide receivers. George Kittle, tight end, obviously. I think they'll come out 11-6. I honestly think the West gets 3 teams in the playoffs this year, so I think the Saints will get bumped out. And then Arizona 9-8. I just don't know about their defense, and then offensively don't know about their run game. Chase Edmonds being the 1, and Connor being the 2. Not sure about that. And no Larry Fitz. They do have A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Max Williams at tight end, Kyler Murray leading the charge. I think defensively, I think they'll have mental breakdowns, and that'll cost them some games. So I think pretty much all those records are realistic. So for making the playoffs, I have the Rams, the Bucs, the Packers, Washington, Seattle, and San Francisco. In round 1, we have Seattle at Washington, San Francisco at Green Bay. I took Seattle, but Washington playing at home, if their defense is anything like we think it could be, and if Seattle's offensive line is what we think it is, there's a possibility Washington could end up winning that. I went with Seattle. And then I have San Francisco at Green Bay. And I think Green Bay takes that at home in the old frigid conditions at Lambeau Field in playoff time. I think that's Green Bay at home. And then round 2, Green Bay has to go to Tampa. Seattle goes to the Rams. I think the Rams are the better team there. And Tampa probably gets the best of Green Bay again. Aaron Rodgers doesn't play real well in the hot, humid weather. And, Florida is always nice year round. So, but I have Tampa going to the Rams, and I have the Rams beating them, and the Rams going to the Super Bowl. I have a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl this year. I don't know how far-fetched that is, but so we'll see how it pans out. So I want to finish up the video today, giving you my pick for Thursday night, telling you who I would start and who I would sit. Unfortunately, I think for the Cowboys, I think you got to sit. I hate to say this, but I think you got to sit Zeke. I just don't know that he's going to be able to run the ball a lot. Tampa's front 7, extremely good against the run. I think Dallas is going to have to throw the ball quite a bit, which we'll see how healthy Dak is early. So obviously I would start Dak. I would start CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Blake Jarwin. I'm not sold on Michael Gallup, so I'm not sure if I would start him. I would probably sit him in this game. But he could be, so maybe CD or Amari sits, you would sit and you would start Gallup because he's going to draw the quote unquote weaker coverage. Sit Dallas's defense because I think, my personal opinion, I think they're going to get smoked. But I could be wrong. And then for the Bucs, I think you're pretty much starting everybody on the offensive side of the ball. Be careful starting Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette because I don't know how that workload is going to play out this year. So, and then I would fire Tampa Bay's defense up too. I think they'll get a couple turnovers, a couple sacks, probably get you around 10 points. Dallas's defense may get you 0. I honestly don't see him getting any. And I see Tampa Bay winning by double digits, at least 14-17 on Thursday night. So I'm taking the Bucs, and that's your start 'em, sit 'em for that game. If you have questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. Let me know who you think's going to the Super Bowl. And again, this is strictly prediction. I'm not trying to be, obviously we'd like to be right, but a lot of the times we're going to be wrong. And you know what? It is what it is. So appreciate you guys dropping in on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Hunter1974Ghost, and of course at twitch.tv/GhostHunter1974. Until next time, peace.